A witness who appears to be Dylan Mortensen told police that she has no idea why she was spared that night, even though Kohberger saw her and knew that she saw him. The interviewing officer writes this, and I quote, "She does not believe anyone ever tried to open her door during the time he was in the house, and he could easily have done so. She volunteered that to come through the sliding glass door, the person would have had to scale a tall wall. She advised the suspect would have known her room would have been occupied because he appeared to have known the layout of the house. She also said it could have been someone who was in the house last year when other girls were living in the house." Dylan took a lot of undeserved abuse online from trolls. I hope you're happy. Those trolls just couldn't understand how she didn't realize her roommates had been slaughtered. But when you read her statement, you find out just how little the survivors, the friends, the kids who came over that next morning, just how little they really knew about what had happened inside. Let me read you this, quote, "She advised she initially stayed, wait, let me start again. She advised she initially went upstairs from, and this is redacted, but we know it's Bethany's bedroom, with redacted, we think that's Hunter Johnson. And she advised when she saw Xana, she realized Xana had not moved since she saw her earlier. She was still thinking Xana was still passed out from being drunk." So think about this. Dylan saw Xana on the floor in her t-shirt and underwear down the hall at 4 o'clock in the morning after all the craziness, right? Sees her as she's running by her room and going down to Bethany's room and thinks, there's Xana, she's passed out drunk. But then 8 hours later, she sees her in the same position on the floor. But she still didn't think any more had happened than Xana passed out last night. Maybe she thought, Xana's OD'd. This is serious. She doesn't realize how serious the situation really is. Then they say she advised they stayed in the house when the police arrived, and the police, were putting the crime scene tape up when they realized there'd been a crime. And when they saw the ambulance arrive and leave, like literally they didn't even know there'd been a crime until they see the police putting the crime scene tape up and they see the ambulance come and go. Redacted told them that they would not leave unless there was no reason to stay. She then advised the vandal alert came out, and that is when they realized their friends were actually gone. So Dylan and the others didn't even know that a crime had been committed. They didn't know. Cops are there. They think Xana's just passed out. Suddenly, yellow crime scene tape. They know something bad happened. But they didn't know anyone had died until the whole university finds out with the vandal alert on their phones. At the end of her interview, Dylan gave investigators a sample of her DNA, and she warned the officers that they might have a tough time finding the suspect's DNA because, let me quote, she advised it might be difficult to locate the offender's DNA because they had conducted a deep clean of their residence leading up to the parents' weekend. When asked about when the deep clean of the residence happened, it would have been before the weekend of the crimes. Well, that answers a lot of questions. I thought there would have been years of evidence of people, hairs and fibers and footprints and fingerprints of all the partiers that had come in and out of that house. But these girls cleaned and cleaned and cleaned before their parents came for parents' weekend, the weekend before the murders. Probably vacuumed up a lot of evidence, that might have been there beforehand of other people. So Dylan also told the police about some previous incidents that gave her an uneasy feeling about the house, including this one. Quote, 2 to 3 weeks ago, all of the roommates went to Starbucks together, and when they got home, their front door was wide open, and they do not believe it had been open when they left. She explained there were prior issues with the front door, so she said it was possible the door opened because there had been a snowstorm, and she explained possibly the wind caused the door to open. Also, when they got home, the washer was going, which she described was not unusual, but this also concerned her. She explained because of these things, they went to get Ethan's golf clubs to protect themselves when they searched the house. We saw Ethan's golf clubs being removed from the home after the murders. It was so incredibly sad. We think the golf clubs were actually being stored in the room that was directly across from Bethany's bedroom on the ground floor, the basement floor, because that room was unoccupied.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.